welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope you are having a fantastic day. I stayed up late last night to get that last video in after what happened in the Chicago Sky game with Kennedy Carter and her coach. And whew, it's a good thing I did. So first of all, thank all of you. I think I mentioned it in the last video, but I can't remember. We crossed 7,000 subscribers, so thank you to all of you who watch, like, comment, subscribe, all that awesome stuff. Let's dig in because Lin Dunn has decided that she is the reason for the Indiana Fever turnaround this season. It's all Lin Dunn, folks. So let's dig into this a little bit. Lin Dunn had 3-year plan. Keep that in your head because we're going to circle back to it. 3-year plan to fix fever. Her faith in a first time head coach is paying off. You got that? It's a 3-year plan, all Lin Dunn, and of her faith in her hand picked first time head coach. All right, let's see what we got here. Lin Dunn became GM in February of 2022. So I will give her a little bit of leeway on the 3-year thing because she wasn't general manager for the bad years before that. But we got some other things to talk about there too. We'll see, Lin Dunn. Yeah, they haven't been in the playoffs since 2016. It's even worse than that. She says she's 3 years into her rebuild, maybe 2.5. A big part of that was hiring Christie Sides. I anticipated that it would be challenging for a playoff spot. Year 3, we feel like we're building a really good core there, even though we're young, that can compete at the highest level. So I like where we are. I would say we're a little bit ahead of schedule. I wonder why that is. Back-to-back #1 picks help a lot. But, by the way, it's not just back-to-back #1 picks. So I will give credit also in the last couple of years. Well, maybe not. Whoever drafted in 2022, I guess. Because, I mean, it's hard. How do you not pick Aaliyah Boston or Caitlin Clark the last 2 years, right? No one could mess that up except the Sixers. The Sixers could mess that up. Being a Sixer fan is the only reason I might give a little bit of credit on the draft picks because they could mess up back-to-back #1 picks. And have. And have. Well, I'm going to show you that in a bit. It's interesting what they've been able to do the last few years from a draft pick perspective. But Christie Sides was hired prior to 2023 with tasks with turning around a losing team. Now they talked about all the coaching changes, right? They had 4th coach in the 7 years since Stephanie White left back in 2016. So you get a long time coach who's never been a head coach. That is a good way to get stability because where else is she going to go? And so Lynn is all about what Christie Sides has done for this team. One of the things that really goes into being consistently successful is stability. And I think stability at the top is key. There are teams who had coaches for a long time or GMs for a long time. It didn't make them winners. It's not just stability. You got to have the right people in place. But if you do, yes, stability can absolutely help. I like what Christie has done. I like what she did last year. I think what we're trying to do is grow stability. There's that word again, the focus on stability. You know what to expect. You know what the system is going to be. Do you? We'll talk about that. You know it's not constantly changing, even though it should be. And so we're trying to get stable with our players, stable with our growth. Sides brought the Fever from 5 wins in 2022 to 13 in 2023. What was the difference there? Oh, they had Aaliyah Boston, who was Rookie of the Year. and an all-star. Rookie of the year and an all-star. Let's go back to this. The Indiana Fever will work backwards. They have 13 wins this year with 12 games to go. Last year they were 13 and 27. The year before they were 5 and 31. The year before 6 and 26, 6 and 16, 13 and 21, 6 and 28, 9 and 25, and then finally back in 2016 as a 500 team, they made the playoffs. So, what is different between the last 3 years of 5 and 31, 13 and 27? Let's take a look at the draft. Let's go back to 2022. First round, second overall pick, they picked up Melissa Smith. In the first round, the sixth overall pick, they picked up Lexi Hull. By the way, I want you to notice something. These draft picks, by the way, they also butchered a couple. They had 4 of the first 10 picks in 2022. And they did get Lexi Hull and Alyssa Smith out of it. Obviously, Emily Engstler and Queen Egbo are gone. And then 2023, the obvious number 1 overall pick, Aaliyah Boston. They were able to grab Grace Berger with the 7th pick and going to coaching. Why has she not played? Why has she not played? And then, of course, this year they drafted Caitlin Clark. So if you go to the last few years, so that means back in 2022, Alyssa Smith and Lexi Hull were part of this team, as was Kelsey Mitchell. And last year they had Aaliyah Boston and Grace Berger and Alyssa Smith and Lexi Hull and Kelsey Mitchell and Erica Wheeler. So what's the difference between the awful teams of the last couple of years and this year? I believe Caitlin Clark could be the answer to that question. Now, I want to get into the coaching, but before I do, just so we all are clear about Lin Dunn, I'm going to play a little clip from another video. By the way, I have a couple of Christie Sides ones as well that I did that I'm going to link in the. I'll pin a comment below and link to these other videos so you can get into detail. So we don't have to go through everything all again. And you can dig a little deeper if you want. But right after this, I'm going to play this about a minute, minute and a half, and then we're going to talk about Christie Sides and just how good a coaching decision that hire that was for the incredible Lin Dunn.
First, we'll take it two separate ways. We'll just look at the beginning of.
Where is it?
Mean-spirited vitriol.
Oh, here we go. I'm going to do this over.